Good morning. Today it's all about stages. So I much prefer doing programming and game design and things like that. But sometimes, and yeah, basically we've kind of caught up with that. So the next step is more drawing, more visual stuff, which it's not really my bag, but I'm going to refactor a little bit. Because I think what I would like is, rather than sort of generating the stages, is just to sort of have them generated and use them as prefabs. So at the moment, I don't think we have a script for stages. Oh, we do. Okay, but this just has get stage, and it works from title screen.stages. So I think what I ought to do. So let's tidy this up. And step one is going to be, why would we not have, why would this not just be in the stages script? I'm going to put it in there, and then we'll deal with like script execution order shenanigans as we go. Is that wise? I'm gonna have to refactor, like, we're gonna have to make a few changes, but basically this is a bit spaghetti code, but yeah, we have our 3 stages. You know what, let's start with a play. Let's start with the play and see what that does for us. And so I've got my stages that I want here. So as you can see, very nice organized bit, but these are the stages I want. We've got 8 stages: Crypt, Barrens. We've got the first 3. Then we've got Crypt, Barrens, Demon Palace, Orc Camp, and Hell, which would be a sort of bonus stage, I guess. And I thought an arena would be fun as well. And yeah, I guess the issue is, we got like a nice spread of color here. Got a few different, scenarios. The existing stages need to be improved. And so I guess the first step would be to like just make them all, like have them all exist in the code. And then I can sort of work on drawing them. I'm not feeling it today. I had a throat infection last night, so it was hurting to swallow while I was asleep. But I'm actually feeling my throat's feeling a lot better, but I think my body's just tired from healing that. And yeah, it's tired. I'm tired. It's hot. My just had half term, which is not a break when you're a parent, I mean, it wasn't a break anyway. I was working during it, but so just feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Got my driving test at the end of next week, and we've got Bullet Fest on the 8th, so that's Monday. And so really I want to kind of get as far as I can with this, and then I need to like redo the trailer, redo the store page, and kind of need to think about committing the name change, so writing the new logo and just changing the name of the game. For Bullet Fest, I don't know if Bullet Fest is going to bring in a lot of players, but we'll see. And I guess we could just do a random, but I'll pick Ramparts as the level. No, let's pick Cruel on the Ramparts. That should be fun. Against the humans, level 2 difficulty. See how this goes. So debuff, looter. Okay, let's go with debuff, and we'll pick all of our things that do debuff. So yeah, there's this. So this stage I think is looking okay. Like, I think these bricks are fine. Those trapdoors are fine. This stage tells the story that we want to tell. Maybe we could have a few random bits of scenery. Okay, Firestarter, he does a debuff. And yeah, I've made these grey because then I want to just like change the color depending on the faction you're fighting. And I probably want to like update that image so there's a few smaller ones in there, and it just probably just fill it out a bit more. Maybe have little shadows underneath them somehow. So yeah, let's write that down. So we've got ramparts. Start with plains. Ramparts would have, yeah, more little circles on the ramparts on the board sprite. Program in color changes depending on enemy faction. Because yeah, basically what the problem I have here is improve, like glow it up, but I need to break that down into a list, like a to-do list. More little circles on the horse prize program, and then we've got add barriers. And we also I also want to refactor a bit and sort of make it that rather than like having this scene which is switched off, like, because what we do is all the levels exist and then we generate the level, and we generate these bits of scenery, so this just repeats along depending on which level you're in. And I think it would be better if those were prefabs that loaded in, and actually rather than generating them, I would just like press play in the scene with the generation on, copy that, make that the prefab, and then just load that at once. And then I can kind of, you know, go to the edge of it and just be like, yeah, let's just put a little barrier there. Let's just put a little like something that stops you. And then add bits of scenery, and I guess this would be like what would be up here. I don't know, like little loose rocks, the odd cracked stone, little things to just sort of fill this space out a bit. The bricks on the floor. Yeah, I'd quite like to add like a broken bit here, but I think that's going to be a bit tricky with the current thing, with the current way that I'm doing it. And so this becomes like the header. So glow up existing stages, like, well, yeah. And we've got that. Improved army affecting, yeah, programming. So then stages becomes our main header, and then we have plains, ramparts. And yeah, I just need to make notes and think about what to add there. So yeah, we've got plenty ahead of us. Okay, let's pick something that does a debuff, which would be chain lightning or fireball. Getting little bits of mana occasionally from adding a debuff, and we'll see if that's balanced. Yeah, let's get another move that does the debuff. I guess a heal wouldn't go amiss, especially along with my axe. But let's keep leaning into the debuffs. Okay. Oh, I want to give Cruel a starting talent. They should all have starting talents. because we've got this. Like you can unlock their third talent, but the way I actually want to do that is basically if you complete like a sort of side quest for that character specifically, then you get their talent, you know. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about that for now. So yeah, lots to think about, lots to change. So we should get something that combines with what we have, and I think for Corral it makes sense. Whirlwind Blade. Center. So this is a side thing. So after, yeah, so center of Whirlwind Blade. So yeah, Whirlwind Blade should start further out from the center. It just looks like a little kind of piddly little stick kind of spinning around. And I guess it could just kind of be starting further out. Zapper. Oh, if we're doing debuffs, yeah, let's have poison. Okay, got my ultimate. So I'll just wait for the next like group of enemies to spawn. Nice. Nice. So I just picked the existing thing there since none of those were particularly good picks. But I'm already committed to having goblins, so... Yeah, I guess like, I mean, what I want out of the sound effect there is like a big like orc cry. I guess I'll have to record my voice a bit and just distort it. So like, yeah, SFX, Crow, battle cry. And then I'll do that for the rest of them as well. But then like probably for Rowan, for example, it would be like a holy light, which I can probably just source some from somewhere. Okay, good. We're winning. Neither of these have a particularly like good synergy with my thing, so I'll try again. Buff. Let's go critical since we've got critical. And then we're gonna get loads of mana. I guess buff would be good because my hero's move is a buff. And since I'm probably gonna end up, oh wait, no, I didn't get chain heals, so I'm not gonna end up with the guitar. Oh, purple chest. I'm happy with the chest. I don't feel like that's on the list of priorities to fix, to improve, which is nice. I mean, we're not stomping it. We're doing pretty well, but we could be doing better. I think just the lack of any kind of healing is always going to be an issue, but we're like very strong when we need to be. We're doing these debuffs, and therefore I'm getting lots of mana. So that's good. I guess Drummer's a good pick then. So we are actually in a buff build, almost. But yeah, since that combines with those two, makes it a good pick, and you know, buffs are fun. Need to level up. So I guess if I wasn't making thoughtful picks here, I'd be very dead. And we've already got another special. Okay, nice. So the build is working. Maybe too well. Let's see about balance. And again, okay. Might need to tune that down a bit then, we'll see. Because yeah, I guess we're getting it from crits as well, and we have crit, so makes sense that we'd be getting a lot of it. Yeah, human wrecking ball right here. And again, okay, so that might be a bit too strong. But you know, that is like, my army is not that thick. Yeah, and the process of using my ultimate gives me another ultimate, which is like, that's fun. I just need to make sure that it's not too OP. And yeah, we should be having ultimates up the, you know, like a lot of them, with the current setup. I'm gonna re-roll this. Yeah. Oh, meteor, that could be fun. I suppose I should go for that. Especially with, yeah, I haven't used Meteor very much. So let's see how it feels in terms of balance. I do need to be careful. Yeah, so I guess I got a bit of a case of like having too vague an instruction at the start of this, and it's going to get easier as I actually write down the things. Okay, now we're in trouble. Bit of healing would have been good. Okay, I think I've lost actually. Oof, oof. Full escape. Oh. Okay. So I should have been like stomping it there, but I guess I neglected healing. I neglected. So I should have had some healing. So yeah, I wonder why I lost that. Because I don't want to like... So actually, if anything, I felt I was too strong in terms of how much... how powerful that debuff mana and crit mana was. But I didn't have any source of healing, whereas I think maybe picking Chain Heal would have just given me enough to do that. Okay, so that's our play for the morning. Okay, let's do this then. So first of all, is this grass texture okay? So I'm just going to jump into a scene and play with the grass texture, because it might be a bit too basic. Basic is good to a degree, because we want to see, we don't want it to be distracting. We want it to be nice and clean and simple. So how is that compared like pixel for pixel? Yeah, it's actually a very good match. There's a square, there's a square. And actually I think it looks good. It's subtle. I don't know if like making it two tones or just like shading the grass a bit would actually make it look nicer. But yeah, that bush is a bit basic, or is it fine? I don't know. I think we just need more of those, like, yeah, little stones. So let's draw that. And I think, I mean, so if a human is 64 across, I guess our little stone would be like 64, but we don't use the whole space. And then 64 high is fine. Maybe we just go 32 high. Maybe we just keep it. So let's just keep that. And sprites. Do we have stages? Scenery. Could probably group this by level. And we'll do stone. In fact, the first one I want to see is tuft of grass. So I want this is indeed my grass color. Just to double check that, I'm going to scenery grass. Is it like floors? Yeah, it doesn't need to be split up. Grass. So if I just copy some of this over here, and those are my colors. Stop that. So if we said, got some creaky door happening back there, like a tuft of grass. just going to really roughly do this, pop it in the scene and see how we feel about it. And then this color for the grass itself. And then we can and yeah, I guess nothing crazy, right? My LinkedIn, I was supposed to meet someone today, but yeah, no, they disappeared. All right. Like, so this tuft of grass like sticking out, and I think it should probably actually have like a slightly rounded bottom. And then I don't know, yeah, I guess generate those across, so we down, so we'll get, yeah, we're gonna get there. So sprites, scenery, planes, tuft, and we'll end up making a few of these. So then we've got these prefabs, scenery, planes, good, so that is organized. And I'll just copy this. Is there anything on here? Sphere collider. No. Oh yeah, yeah, because you can't walk through it. Okay. So let's make a copy, remove the collider. So these are actually tilted at 45. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Just and I finally should have done this right at the beginning of the project, but I'm going to set up so scenery, planes, tuft, and can I so sprite 2D and UI single 32-bit, no filter, apply, preset, create new, and then I guess this would live in, I guess it can just live in the root folder here as sprite preset, and then hopefully just do that. So if I like change this, yeah, cleans it up. Okay, good. So we have that. Pivot to the bottom, and then so currently it's here, is probably not the best place for it, but bush and I guess we'd have a lot more of them, so let's say double scenery.tufts. Okay, and if I put in a list there, I can actually have multiple of them, so that's good. Okay, so then we're going to find scenery, and it's going to be in some horrible place. So yeah, if I generate a list, so let's just like make 3. Let's see how that goes. So I guess I'm not in a rush to refactor. Refactor the way that we generate levels just now. Okay, not a single tuft. Oh, there's a few. And they do add a little something. What I might want to do is like shade them a bit. And yeah, it's a bit weird when they seem to appear. Like that looks weird. So I don't know how well that's working. It sort of happens here as well. And is that... And yeah, also it's like the wrong size. And so are the bushes and the trees, really. But like if I'm comparing, so 1 pixel on the character is about 1 pixel on the grass. But 1 pixel on the tree is significantly smaller than 1 pixel and the bush and the yeah, so that's gonna make it look dodgy. So how do I fix that? Because of course what I can do is basically redraw it at a lower resolution. Make it bigger. So for the tuft of grass, I think we should just be working with like a smaller space, and I'd like to see more of them. Did I not just resize it? Okay, so yeah, let's just delete that. We still got our colors? No, we don't. So let's make a new layer. Delete. And let's just draw it based on this. So And yeah, before I start making like alt versions. So yeah, if I have to redo the pond and shit, that's fine. So yeah, I'm just gonna be like focusing on making this level look nicer. And let's see how we get on with that. So scenery, planes, so we can collapse that. Yeah, that's still correct. And then if it's smaller, that overlap thing should feel like less of an issue, I think. It's really dodgy when you're like walking up and then you just see it pop out of your beard. But at speed, it's not so bad. And they're barely noticeable, but I think they do give a bit more texture to the level. Okay, so and I should check that they're like of the right sort of, you know, scale. Pixel scale. See if that matches better, and then I can kind of say to the trees and stuff that they should basically, yeah, we need to aim for about half that resolution. So, oh, and do they receive shadow? They're not going to receive shadow, so that might look funky. Okay, but yeah, they are basically on par with the pixel size. I think I should make the grass a little bit bigger, so that's going to be an easy fix. Because it's just, yeah, this pixel is slightly smaller than this one. So if I go to my, God, I haven't navigated these folders for a while. But we go into scenery, where do we have our grass? I don't think it's even a prefab. And then is that what? So I actually need to take, so what is this? This is these are big canvas sprite renderers. And essentially, so if I change the size, it just changes. So what is the thing that I actually want to, okay, so it would be the size. So if we went from, and that's going to be a bit of a pain to like rejig about, but basically we take this one and we said that was 4. Does that feel a bit tidier now, I wonder? Does that feel more in line? So there's a pixel, there's a pixel. Yeah, it's quite subtle, but I think it's an improvement. Okay, that means I need to retile. So let's just go into the scene. Oof, it's getting messy now. Stages, planes, switch it on. Grass. And all of these, what's this, returner? Okay, interesting. So let's go. These are the cubes that mark the outline. So yeah, we need to make sure so let's call this invisible wall L. Invisible wall R. Back. front. And then all of these would be by 4 instead. So I think I'll switch on magnets and just make this matched like that. So it's like 320, 321. 321's probably the round number that we're looking for. That actually tiles over nicely. Yeah, 320. So then this would be 320 minus 320. Invisible walls would want to just come in till they are what's that going to be, 480? Yeah, let's call it 480. And I think we're going to want like a lot of these, because I think they do end up giving like much better texture to the level. So yeah, just subtle improvements. Should they have a shadow? Wouldn't be that hard. But then there's the issue of, so the shadow moves throughout the 20 minutes to make it kind of look like it's gone from morning to afternoon. Okay, yeah, I'm in the wrong scene to start. Oh, and I should turn off planes. Yeah, it's slightly different. Why am I not feeling like we've got tons of tufts? Why do I feel like changing it to 2500 did all of nothing? But they do add a bit to the scene. And being an object that you can actually walk through, yeah, we don't need to give it a black outline. So that's good. And then how do we feel about these trees? Like, I think trees can be bigger just to save us having to like totally redraw them. And we should start, yeah, so alt versions of trees, ponds, bushes, tufts. So I just need to, like, once I'm happy with the way they look, just redraw them a couple times so that we have that sense of difference. So for the tree, what if that was 5? Is that too big or is that fun? Yeah, the pixels match. And I think the size feels good, and I think just having a bit of variation in them. Has the amount of things in the scene messed with? And then why do I feel like... And yeah, I'm just realizing now I probably didn't need to change... So I've been a bit stupid. I'm always a bit stupid. I kind of just do things without thinking sometimes. Yeah, so I actually want to see... So go back to scenes in game. Because when I made these smaller... Let me just check if I'm on the right track with my thinking here. So if we turn on planes... And let's say we further reduce the scale to like 3, right? And then we do the size bigger. Ah, but then that does something weird, right? So that's why I had it the way I did. Isn't that funny? Isn't that a bit like, no, that's not what I asked for. Is set to I don't understand. I think we'll just not undo that then. We'll just keep that how I did it. So the trees look better. The ponds can probably also just be doubled in size. So but I should redraw the bush to be almost doubled in size. I should redraw the bush. And then what? So what if I put like 10,000? So I don't think it takes very long to generate. They're very simple images. So yeah, that puts a lot of these tufts around. And let's see, how does the pond feel? Should perhaps the edge of the pond not be black? But yeah, I think the trees look a little bit less weird. They should be slightly taller than, you know, than a human, than an orc even. And the tufts are like a good ratio. Like there's, yeah, now I feel like there's a good amount of them. Not too many, not too few. And I need to check. So they are... Oh, it seems that like... How have I... So when we say generate scenery... Map width. Okay. So yeah, they come slightly over the edge, that's fine. Or probably they shouldn't. So when we say generate scenery, it's this map width. No, that's amount. So where do we get map width from? Okay, interesting. So I think the new map width is, I mean, I would say that's like 900, but and I guess that should be like our standard for how big is a scene, basically. Like how big is because each level is different. Like the point of the levels in this is not just to have a different backdrop, but it's to have a different shape for the way units spawn. So for example, on the ramparts, your allied forces will spawn from the trapdoors at the bottom, and the enemy forces will spawn from the ladders at the top. And we don't use this like map width thing because it's like things generate in a different way. But you know, all of that may change. Bushes actually kind of look okay. But yeah, I think I can afford to have them at a lower resolution. Does the grass match? It's annoying that the grass doesn't accept shadows. Yeah, they're a good size, and I think I should, like, just kind of give them a bit more shape like that. Kind of thing. Because that hard line at the bottom is a bit, doesn't feel great. Okay, and then what I would do, so the bushes need to change, and I did want stone as well, but let's continue with this. So we would make a new one where I just draw it again, basically, but slightly different. Could be cheeky and just do this. But no, okay, so let's have, I don't know. The different types I've done here. Could do like a double one instead of a triple one. So a lot of this is gonna go. Can always edit these. So I see fit later on, but that's a tuft. Maybe not a double, but a quadruple. And I wonder if they should have outline at the bottom. I think they probably should, and it's not going to be difficult to change at this resolution. But yeah, I think it is, while a lot of these things feel silly, I think it is details like this which can like make or break the sense of love that one feels when they look at a piece of art. Be like, no one's going to play it and be like, oh my god, the grass tufts don't have shaded bottoms. They're going to just say, oh, I don't know if there was enough effort in this game, or they're just going to be like, eh. They're not gonna analyze it. So GM scenery. Tuft. So we make Tuft 1, Tuft 2, Tuft 3. And Tuft 1 has need to export this. What have I done? No, cancel. Okay. And I think it might be time to refactor code so that I've got this GM is a non-destroy object that persists through all scenes because, you know, I mean, that's how you learn these things. But yeah, the thing that contains all the information about the game, that should just persist throughout the scenes. Because we might need it from an encyclopedia, we might need it from the beanstalk or whatever upgrade screen we have. Yeah, this worked. We now have different bits. I don't know if that pond looks a bit too amateurish. I wonder if the outline should be the same color as the waves or something. Or if like the fact that it has those little lines just kind of draws attention to them. So maybe we can be a bit more elegant there. But these little tufts of grass, I think, really do help to sell the scene a bit more. Like, just making it look a little bit more effortful, you know? A little bit more loved, I think would be the word. It just kind of gives a bit more texture to the scene. And yeah, I think black outlines for things that you can't go through is a good visual language. Hold on. That's a big problem. Random buff. So for example, debuff should be true. It's a debuff. Silly mistake. It's the first one. Okay. I could ask if the value is negative to determine whether it's a debuff or not, and then I'd save myself a bull. One thing at a time. Right, so we have tufts, and they work. So that is in, and that is in. And then what we would do is add a few different trees and bushes and ponds. And then, you know, the level should look a bit nicer. And that's kind of all we're hoping for, isn't it? Doesn't need to look tons nicer. I don't have a huge problem with the level, but it's like if there was ever a time to improve this, it's now. And then I can knock it off the list and say, you know what, I tried, and I can come back to it later with sort of fresher eyes. And yeah, we're kind of just getting into level design for a bit. So hat changing, gear shifting to make this work. So yeah, little stones in the ground. Will that look good? Just to add a bit of texture to the scene. So it would be just like the tufts. Right? So we go... So I take this and then I would save as sprites, scenery, planes. Oh, we've got stones. Okay, well, let's overwrite that. Okay, and so we're going to want a little... Like, what am I thinking of here? It's like, it's basically like a tuft, but with a little stone sitting in it. Or maybe it is just a little stone. So let's just get rid of the first one. And then let's draw what we think our little stone would look like. And I don't want to use black because... So it would be quite small, I think. I don't want to use black because then it will be too eye-catching. Talking about just a little stone. I think little dots on it would make it look silly. And then I don't know if it would have like little... Like it's just kind of ends up being a different kind of tuft. Like it would have little bits of grass around it. I don't know. Like Vampire Survivors has like the little roads in, but I'm not a fan of those. But what if it was like... And this could have an inbuilt shadow, I guess. Although I don't think I can do like opaque, like lower opacity textures within Piskel. I would have to like add that as a separate layer, basically as a separate sprite renderer. I mean, maybe it would sit on like a little bed of green. I don't know. Let's just try it like that, and I'll just copy it 3 times so that we're building in our variations before we actually draw them. So we'll export that, and then we just give it the same treatment. So sprite renderer, scenery, let's close that, scenery, planes, stone. Use our preset, finally using a preset, but it's multiple, apply, sprite redditor, no, okay, out of play mode. And this might actually just be flat on the floor, I think. And then maybe we just raise it by just a touch. Let's see how this goes. And yeah, stone 2, 3. Yeah, that's fine. We can do code counting, starting at 0. And then we add that to scenery. And then I think I'm somewhat safe to kind of start this because I don't like going back between GM and scenes and stuff. So I'm gonna make what should I call it? So basically I want to make something that can just store all the information so that we're not having to go between GM and stuff. Although this does only exist in GM at the moment, so I think I won't bother just now. But things like upgrades, weapons and characters need to exist in all scenes, so it needs to be a don't destroy or load rather than me copying and pasting it over every time it changes. So stones 1, 2, 3, prefabs, scenery, planes, stones. And of course at the moment they're all the same, but why does it look like they're not on their backs? They are. Okay. Alright. I think that's that. Let's try it. See how these stones look in the scene. I mean, I imagine there'll be a slight improvement. They do add some texture. Okay, now I want to try them not on their backs. Getting lost. Plains, stones. Okay, I think not on their backs is subtly better. Yeah, and I think it just adds something to the scene. Maybe they can be a bit darker, just to be less distracting. Oh, and hello. That doesn't look too bad, but yeah, we can't have that. So I'm gonna have to put something in that, like, if they're too close to a pond. And then what else do we see? Like, I mean, I don't want to put flowers, I don't think. Maybe some flowers, like little bits of flowers. I think Rogue Genesia has really, really beautiful There's really beautiful scenes, and obviously I'm not going to get mine to like that level of I didn't like this game, but I did like the way the scenes looked. So that I mean, that's just beautiful. That really is stunning. Yeah, they've got their little rocks and everything has shadows, and that's why it doesn't run so well on my computer. But I think something that really works here is the effect of cloud cover. So you just have these little very soft passing shadows, right? These very subtle, like, passing shadows. But I don't know if that just ends up being distracting or if I can, like, pull that off and make it look really pretty. So just these darker bits that will just be moving ever so slowly across the field just to make it feel a bit more alive. Okay, so we need to stop like it wouldn't be too hard to do. We could say like, look, if anything else ends up in the ponds, yeah, so stop, then just delete it. Stop things appearing, or like just do a range check, like range check on the pond. If you found anything that's within like 1 or 2 units, just delete it. But I do think, like, in a way it kind of looks noisy to me, but I think that's just because I'm used to basically nothing. But actually, yeah, I think this does add to it. Okay, so and then we'll just add that. Like this, to be honest, like I need to do levels, but like, or like stages, but the one that really needs to be nice is the planes. Spat a bit on my screen. So let's do, yeah, passing clouds. But yeah, Rogue Genesia, I didn't think it was a good game. It has, like, I regretted playing it, really. Like, it's very beautiful, but like the balance is just crazy. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And what I found pretty much every time I played, I would just quite quickly get to a point where I'm just obliterating everything on screen before I can even see it. So like everything off screen, I guess. And then suddenly I would get to one of these boss fights and something would just grab me, and because there's so much shit happening, I can't see where the attack is coming from, so I can't dodge it. And it's a bit annoying to kind of sit there and basically do nothing for like 10 minutes or however long, 20 minutes, before suddenly then having to like sift through and look for the little bits of red on the floor and avoid them. And that happened to me 3 times where I just died instantly from the little bits of red on the floor, and then I was like, you know what, I don't like this game. But shadows, cloud shadows, I think that will make a huge difference. And I can't use lighting effects because it's too expensive. But basically, like, they would have to be very soft, because if they're hard shadows like on the characters, I mean, I wonder if there's anything I can do about that. So if I go to my... So let's leave the scene. And if I go to... And yeah, shadows... Shadows on scenery will have to move like character shadows. So if I go to my prefab character container, and then I look at my turn off gizmos, and then I look at my shadow here, can I like blur this? Is there anything I can do to like blur this? right? Like, so we can keep using that because that's what we had before. But then let's can I add another material? Let's just mess around with this, and we can always bring it back. But like sprites, and then what are the options that we get? I'm gonna ask Gemini. So in Unity, is there a sprite material that can give me a blurry outline? Yeah, I mean, I guess if I fed it an image that had a blurry outline, it would work on this. So if I gave it something that was alpha, like half alpha, like 50% opacity, it would be lighter on here. Because I would like to do that. I think if they had slightly blurrier shadows, that would be good. So, okay, I wasn't having a great time. No, don't open Slack. I mean, I don't have anything interesting on there, but at the moment, but yeah, blurrier shadows on characters. But I don't know how realistic this is going to be to do. I mean, at the very least, so what is it? It's this that shadow mover, yeah. So if that has the same script, and then this would be like less opacity, but would be larger by a little bit, and then the first one has less opacity, so this one's like 2.5, and this one is also about 2.5. I just want to really quickly see that in the scene. I'm gonna have to go soon and get my son from nursery, but oh yeah, there's my. Can I do 2? Yeah, I can do that. Cool. I've got an interview today. Lovely. I'll be at 2. So I guess I'll come on for a bit after lunch, and then I've got my interview at 2. So I'll go and do that. I think that looks quite a bit better, actually. Right? Little subtle thing. I don't know if that's going to mess with, like, if that's an optimization issue. But I think that looks quite a bit better. Like, I can't, when they're moving, I can't really see I can't see how crap the gradient is. It's just a 2-tone gradient, but that kind of does fit with the game. So if I was to have a passing cloud shadow, so let's just grab, I'm just going to be really cheeky, so let's call this soft shadow. Okay, I'm going to be really cheeky, so I'm just going to copy that and take it into the scene, main game. Because I just have a feeling like these passing cloud shadows will have a really strong impact on the game. I think they'll look really nice. So we'll just take it like a big old shadow. So we'll call this, yeah, we'll keep it in planes. Put it down here. In fact, I think this is scenery. Scenery. There it is. And I'll use, I think I already have my storm cloud. And we'll just kind of reset this. One. It's not going to be there, but, and then the, yeah. I think it's really going to help sell the scene. Okay, I'm kind of getting interested in this. And so we're going to have these little two-tone shadows. So this is like, hello. Oh, we've got snapping on. This is just like, I guess just bigger. And this is, we see it in the scene? Yeah, there it is. Can we make it much bigger? And these are just like slowly moving across the scene. Is that too distracting? So let's put that, make that even softer. So let's go with like 15 and 15. And then they're just going to be just doing that. Can we make them, should we make them like 10? Yeah. So there's not too many of them. And we'll put a little, do I already have a script that's like move something subtly to the right? I've got something similar with the Horde. Is that what it's called? Horde? Horde mover. Okay, let's just call this cloud mover. Just make a new script. New script. Cloud mover. In my lovely tidy folder here. My lovely tidy filing system. And I do actually want to just grab, because you know it's pretty basic stuff, I could do it from scratch, but let's see if I can, yeah, cloud mover. So Horde mover is literally just that, but I feel like the thing is the same. And then yeah, if the position gets too far, except we don't have that, so we just go literally just literally copy it over, and then we just delete that. And then it's like, wait, no, if position, okay, so it's position dot X, I think. I don't know if they should be like, but I feel like left to right makes sense. We can always change it. I don't think they should ever be moving at odds, because the wind would be blowing the clouds all in the same direction. And I think left to right just makes sense. Maybe we can experiment with that. I mean, plus minus time dot delta time times, I think let's just do time dot delta time, because the Horde kind of goes like that speed, and the clouds could go even slower than that, as long as they're subtly moving. And then if position dot X is greater than 1,000, then position dot X equals minus 1,000, and it just resets. And position, yeah, we can just so in the start, position equals transform dot position, so it starts where it starts. Sure, we'll get some errors there, but so this can just be, it's just for, so it's going to be easy to spot. Put that there, and then that should make it, yeah, when we instantiate a new one, before we do any update stuff, it's just going to say position is wherever I am right now. And then once again, we go scenery, we go, I'll put it right at the bottom. And we do cloud shadows. Yeah, and I think the two-tone just matches the style of the game. I think if it was a soft gradient, that would look nice, but that doesn't match what we're doing with the game. Everything in the game is like 2, maybe 3-tone. So yeah, two-tone works well. So cloud shadows and then GM, and they're probably going to be about at the frequency of trees. And actually, it would probably make sense to only although I don't think that like Unity has a problem with like culling things that aren't in the scene, like aren't visible. So scenery dot cloud shadows, and then I think that's that in terms of coding. So we need to actually set that. So this should be fun. I'm excited to see if this... It might be horribly distracting. It might be the thing that sets the game over the edge. So let's go scenery, planes, cloud shadow. So that's the prefab. And let's just reset the prefab like that. Yeah, so this can go. And then we just need to go GM cloud shadows 1, 2, 3, and we'll just put the first one in all of them for now. When we make variations, we'll make them as prefabs too. All right, I have to go fairly soon, but okay, let's see if that works. I think this is going to revolutionize the scene. Okay. I feel like a lot of them can end up stacking on top of each other, and I don't know what's up with the rotation. Did I leave like an animator object on it or something? Yeah, we might have too many. I don't think that's going to mess with the scene though, so... Why is the rotation all gnarly? Because they all have that same rotation. Why? Yeah, that's just all over the place. Why is that the way it is? Oh, because they've still got... Oh, because of shadow mover. Okay, easy fix. Easy fix. So we go scenery, planes, cloud shadow. And we just make sure that they don't have this script on. And then, yeah, I think once we add shadows to the other things in the scene, which is going to be tricky because I have to then... I think I just put shadow mover on them, just like that same script that I've got on the characters. I just put them on the scenes. I hope that's not an optimization issue, in which case I'll have to like find some cleverer way of moving all of them. rather than moving each of them individually. Okay, so my only because I'm a double moron. Never underestimate how much of a moron I am. And this should work much nicer. Okay. So we should definitely vary their size. And I guess it's an issue that they're not casting shadows on the things in the scene. Can we like fix that? So if we said, yeah, they should cast a shadow on everything. But I think that's an easy fix. I think if we just order in layer is like 3. So let's try that. It doesn't seem to work. So if cloud shadow, if the order in layer is like, let's say 5 and 5. Let's see how that works. Got to go in 5 minutes. But, you know. So I started the day feeling absolutely crap about this. Like, oh, I hate doing visual shit. And now I'm actually like, I'm really happy with how much nicer the scene looks. Yeah, I'm in the shadow. It's subtle. But I am definitely in the shadow. And I don't know if it should be more, like, less subtle than that. But it's I'm definitely, like, getting caught by that shade. So that's good. What's going on with the stream? Well, probably a good place to leave it then. So yeah, thanks very much. I'm going to carry on with this. Try and make the planes look as nice as possible before I start the trailer, because it would just be very depressing to do the trailer for Bullet Fest and then make the first level look a lot nicer, and then like be looking at the trailer that's there for Bullet Fest and be like, this isn't that good. Okay. I feel like the soldiers are the other soldiers. Yeah, they are catching the shadow. So it's just very subtle catching of the shadow. I don't know. It feels like it's just not there though, but I think that's a nice touch. I think these moving cloud shadows just add texture to the scene where there was basically none before. The stones look good. I think I might make them a bit darker. The tufts look good. They just, again, add texture to the scene. The trees being bigger looks fine. The bushes I don't actually have a problem with. But yeah, no, these clouds look good. I think they should definitely vary in size. So, and I don't know whether that comes from... So yeah, if we just do a copy and then say this one is 15 and do another copy and this one is 5. And then we go back to the scene, main game. This is the part that's annoying me, but... And then we go cloud shadow. Let's just have a quick look at that, and then I really have to go. When it comes to picking up my kid from nursery, if I get there too early, I have to wait a bit. If I get there on time, I have to queue. If I get there late, then I usually still have a bit of queue. So It's not like I'm leaving my kid to be waiting for me. It's just there is a window here, but I'm going to go after this bit. Yeah, some variation in the cloud size. It looks a bit weird when there's just one of them. I want to find some more. Where have they all gone? I guess I just happened to get fewer of them that time. There's a nice big one. But it just really helps give this sense of movement, doesn't it? Right? And depth to the level. Like the scene feels much more alive. I don't know if the gems are now like don't stand out enough. I want to see more of these clouds. Where have they all gone? Just double check that they're all there. Is it just I'm in a spot that doesn't have that many? Yeah, I'm in a spot that doesn't have that many. But yeah, no, that looks lush. Just adds so much more to the scene. Looks nicer. Okay, brilliant, awesome. All right, well, thanks to everyone who joined today. Not a bad turnout for the morning stream, so really appreciate it. Do love subscribers, and I'll be back today at 1 for a little bit, and then again at 3 for a bit. So cheers, have a good one, bye.